everyone. We are going to be creating a client blog post today in Squarespace. So I'm going to just get right to it. First thing, this is my photography website. And the first thing you want to do is log in, of course, to your Squarespace site. You'll get to the main settings. You want to click on pages, and then you want to click on your blog. If you don't have a blog already created, you can create one by clicking the plus sign here and selecting blog. All right. Oops, we went backwards. So once you're in your blog, to create a new post, you simply click on the plus sign right here. So every time I create a new post, I do a few housekeeping items before I get into the actual meat of the post, which is in the body right here. The first thing I do is I will include a keyword-rich for SEO title. So whatever you put in your title right here, once you click save, will automatically become the post URL. So you want to make sure that that title is very keyword-rich for your SEO keywords. And that's a whole other conversation, but just wanted to mention that. The second thing I do is I will usually tag and categorize the post based on whatever it is. This post today is going to be a wedding, so I will categorize it wedding. And then I might tag it with whatever specific tags that I want to choose for this post. But again, that's a whole nother conversation. So you just want to tag your post accordingly. All right. The second thing I do is I'll go to my options and I will make sure everything looks good here. I'll add a thumbnail image if I want to, which I will. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And if you are working on a blog template where multiple posts are showing up on one page as opposed to one scrolling post on a page, then you would want to insert an excerpt here. And if you want it to be a featured post, you can also put that here. I don't usually make my posts featured posts just because of how I organize my blog, but just wanted to mention that. Okay, so the next thing I do is I do the location. So I will always put my business name here. And then wherever the city and state is for whatever the shoot was. So this wedding actually took place in Rockaway, New Jersey. So I'll just put that in the location, and that's all I do on this screen. And then for social sharing, normally I will share to Twitter and Pinterest. I have a separate workflow for sharing to Facebook. And so then you can leave just the title and the URL here if you want to, or you can put some additional words in here. You can just type in here, you can say Rockaway, New Jersey wedding if you want to, and that it'll show you right here what will actually be shared to Pinterest. Okay, so now that we've done a little bit of homework on this post first, and homework's not really the right word, but so let's say Rockaway, New Jersey winter wedding. So that's what I'm going to do first, and then I'm going to click save because I'm going to show you what that does once we go back into the post to edit it. So over here under our URL, you now see that that URL is showing Rockaway, New Jersey winter wedding. So even if you change this title, that URL is not going to change unless you go in here and physically change it. So this is my keyword rich URL, and then over here, I'm going to put the title, Dave plus Jess. Oops. And then I'll say, I'll just say, gorgeous winter wedding. So no matter what that title is here, this is still going to be my URL. So now what I do is I will typically go in and just build my blog post based on how I normally build a client blog post. So the first thing I do is I always insert an image as kind of like the header image. So I'm just going to put that there just first so you can see my structure. Then I put a text box where I would type Dave and Jess were the most awesome people ever. And then I would continue to write out my blog post. And then underneath that, I'm going to include a stacked gallery of images. So then I'm going to put a stacked gallery, and Squarespace shows you an example of what that might look like. And then at the bottom, I would either do one of two things. If I had a team of vendors that I needed to link, I would add that at the very bottom of the post, so I'd add a text box. And then under that, I always include a summary carousel. The summary carousel will pull up other blog posts that are similar to the one that we're writing. And this is how you do it. So we're going to click blog because they're going to be coming from the blog. The layout, we want it to be a carousel. We're not going to put any header text. This is the header text right here. We're just going to take that out. Standard ratio, I always like to do a square for my aspect ratio, and I like to include 5 blog posts to show right here. This text is a little bit big for me, so I always bump that down to small. And then I go over to the display. I leave this at 10 usually. I don't show an excerpt. I never include excerpts anyway, but I always just click that off for some reason that I might include excerpts at some day. I don't want those to show on all the summary blocks I've used. I usually take the primary metadata out so it doesn't show anything underneath the title. And then the category filter, this is where you tell the summary block where to pull the blog post from. So here I would choose weddings. Once I do that, it's going to pull in my most recent wedding posts. Then I'm going to click apply. Okay, so my basic standard template is built for the blog post, so now I can go back in and add the images. So I have already stomped these wedding images. They're ready to go. So I exported them out of Lightroom, stomped them, chose the right ones that I wanted for the blog post, and then I stomped them. Don't worry too much about my navigation. I know it seems complicated, but here we go. So we're going to choose this as my initial image, and that's going to load up. And then what I'm going to do for SEO purposes is I'm going to say winter wedding in a gazebo, I think that's how you spell gazebo, in Rockaway, New Jersey. And then, since I don't want that to show in the post, I'm going to click Edit, Design, Do Not Display Caption, and that will take that away. So then I'm going to go in and add in my gallery of images. So once I click the gallery, all I need to do is click Upload Images. And then I'm going to choose all the images from this post, except for this first one, because we already included that. And that's going to upload all those images into this gallery. So you'll see in this example right here that they showed us, oh no, it's not going to show, that there was titles and descriptions for each one of the images. Now those will continue to show on the post unless you go over here to Design and click Show Title and Description off. So if you take that off, whatever you decide to title and describe the images will not show in the actual scrolling gallery itself. So in order to change the title, which you would want to do for SEO purposes, in a gallery, it works a little bit differently than it does for one single image. You want to click this gear icon here, and this is where you would click and put in your description, otherwise known as the alt text. So here I might say, Dad officiates ceremony for New Jersey winter wedding. Something like that. And again, that's a longer conversation. I just wanted to really show you how to update those titles and for each image. So even though, this is kind of weird, but even though it shows that these are still uploading, normally they've already actually uploaded. It just, for some reason, gets stuck looking like that. And you can see from the gallery here that all the images are actually showing. So I'm going to just click Apply. And then, like I said before, if I had vendors, I didn't have really any vendors for this wedding because it was a very small, just intimate gazebo wedding in a park. You would put those here, and then you could link to their sites by using the link feature right there. So that's basically it. You have your post ready to go. So now what I would normally do, if I know when this post is going to go live, then I could schedule it. So here, it's not super intuitive. It doesn't look like you can click on this, but you can. So if you click on that word draft, it'll pull up these 4 selections. You can click published, scheduled, needs review, or draft. So I typically schedule my posts. Then I click on the day and time, and then I would schedule this to post out on Monday, maybe at 8 a.m. And then I would save. So now that post will show over here in my role as a scheduled post for Monday. Oh, I clicked 8 p.m. instead of 8 a.m. Let's go and change that. Thought I changed that. a.m. There we go. All right, so now I don't have to do anything else. This post will just go ahead and post out Monday at 8 a.m. And it will also share to those social icons that we shared to, I think we chose Twitter and Pinterest. It will also share at that time to Twitter and Pinterest. So you're good to go with your client blog post, and let me know if you have any questions at all. Hope you found this video helpful. Thanks a lot.